Hello and welcome to the Daggerfall Unity Permadeath series in 0.15.2. I am Jehuti. You might know me as the maker of a few mods in Daggerfall Unity, a member of the community, and I am just starting out this series as a way of exploring some new characters, seeing how far we can take them. The key here is that these characters that I'm going to be creating are randomly generated. Using random.org and a spreadsheet, I allocate their skills no matter how nonsensical they may come across. The entire purpose will be to survive, see how far we can possibly survive with characters who are merely at the mercy of probability itself. As you can tell with our first character here, Anten Nightdale, he has 0 combat skills whatsoever. I do not know how we can take this character very far, but that is the challenge that is set before us. I have the Modlist in the video description, so you can scroll down to see that. And like I said, this is a permadeath series. If a character dies, then he dies, like they would say in Rocky IV. So we are going to jump right in with this, and we will see how we can survive with a character who will be starting in a random dungeon, yes, in some part of the Daggerfall world. And we will have no idea where we're going until we end up there. And we are in Shalgor. Interesting. Okay, we're in the ruins of Garing Cabin, 13 hours of the day. Something that's going to happen right now is that my fatigue and my magicka are going to drop down because of the time skip that a random starting dungeon uses. So do not be alarmed when that happens. Okay, we have an Elven Tanto, the Ebony Dagger that I picked up during the character creation. And I have some items here that will help me be prepared for the brutal outdoors, which we will inevitably find. Thanks to the Climates and Calories mod made by Ralzar. Cannot carry any more stuff, right. I need to... This is just a problem that comes with the time skip, and then it looks like... Yes, we are back to normal, okay. So we'll start picking up some things, and this is worth some pretty good money, so I'm going to pick this up. Excellent. And yes, we will want that scarab as well. Random Starting Dungeon has a module that prevents you... Actually, we're going to, because our fatigue has dropped so low, we definitely will want to rest up before we make any further movements. Okay, we are in the bare middle of the night. Okay, it does not unlock, which means that we're going to have to do some bashing. And thankfully that was not too hard. Like I said before, this character has virtually 0 combat ability, so if we see something, either we have to run away from it, we have to use language skill Overhaul to tame it, make it our ally, or we have to simply put up with what the game is forcing upon us. I really had expected to get at least one kind of combat skill rolled for me, but the game was not so kind. Oh boy. Will he respond? No, he will not respond to necromancy. So, let's see if we have any signs of the exit so far. We do not. So we're just going to start running and see how far we can make it. Thankfully, I do believe that I will have a Restore Fatigue spell. This one, Smelling Salts, which will help us out a little bit in the early levels. That way we can make sure that we can at least... terrible. We can at least run away without being in danger of losing all of our fatigue at the same time. Did that lose him? I really hope so. Oh, we have a bat, of course. Let's see if animal taming... No animal taming. Each of these times that the bat hits me runs the risk... Holy Dagger, that's great. That's a wonderful source of income for the early game. Good. And maybe we can get this skeleton and that bat to fight each other. That would be wonderful. Okay, let's see if we can make this happen. Maybe one or the other. At the very least, they'll be distracted with each other. But... Fight each other, close the door, and see if we're... Okay, we should see a message that one or the other is going to die pretty soon. and presumably, well, maybe not. Maybe the bat's tougher than I thought. So then, how are we searching for a way out of here? If we go forward, I am running with smaller dungeons module on, so we're not dealing with like these mega uber Hulk dungeons that you'd normally see in Daggerfall. That's mostly because these characters are probably not going to spend much time in dungeons anyway, based on their predicted total defenselessness in the face of reasonable enemies. Because Daggerfall's dungeons are already incredibly lethal, and to make them gigantic would simply exaggerate the danger. And there's no need for that when we're just we're doing some simple permadeath runs with so many things out of our control. Now we are looking for this exit, and I'm kind of surprised we haven't found it already, because this should not be a large module that we're looking at. A little bit surprised with this one, but we'll keep looking, and hopefully we will not run into any significant enemies as we're going through. Really, I wonder what we're... Oh boy. Not necromancy. Okay. Well, let's start running, and we will oh, here we go again. Here we go with another of these. Okay, what are we... We still have more ground to cover here. I wonder if... Here we are, okay. We're in the Shalgor region, and the problem is that I slept until nighttime, and I don't like traveling during nighttime. Not that there's anything inherently wrong with it in this mod setup, but I simply prefer not to travel at night, because I think that I don't know, just having the visibility of things around, like you can see the roads more easily and so on, that's something that I really do prefer. But thankfully we're not very far from a road here anyway. If we can make it far enough to the east and then jump onto this road that we're seeing over here, the hope is that we will find a settlement within a reasonable amount of time, and we should be able to find, well, we should be able to offload our gear, buy some real stuff that we can start out the game with, and get started. Before we start traveling, I will want to set up a safety save, just because we might fall through the floor and things like that, fall through the world. That's always a bummer, so we don't want to do that. And if we can make this happen, then it'll take us 2 hours to travel to this road that we are hoping that we'll be able to find in the dark. Had I thought ahead of time, I really would have been... no path. Oh boy, an enemy... A bear. Okay, we have a bear to contend with. We're going to see if we can do any damage whatsoever. Actually, what we might want to do here is that we have the smelling salt spell. It'll restore our fatigue, and that can allow us to run away instead. I'll do... Oh, wow! We did damage. I did not at all expect that. Normally in standard Daggerfall, wow, that is a major victory that I was not at all expecting. So that is tremendously good. That's, in fact, our what is our short? Yeah, our short blade skill is at 15. So the fact that we're using the ebony dagger is a good thing, of course, but it's not nearly as good as it would be if we were playing vanilla Daggerfall without mods. Hold on, let me do that save again, just to make sure we don't fall through the world. And we move on in towards this road. So with Physical Combat Overhaul by Magicono, that reduces the massive accuracy bonus that you gain through weapon materials. Like if I were using the ebony dagger in an unmodded Daggerfall, it would add 80 accuracy points to my strikes. Oh, here we go. We are closing in on a settlement. Wow, that's tremendous luck. Okay, let's... Morsley Manor. And we have a tavern here. Okay, our character has made it into civilization, and we have a place to stay. That is honestly better than I was expecting. So, Let's get into the inn here. It doesn't matter how much they're charging. We have to pay it. Let's just hope that we have... Oh yeah, we have gold. We have gold enough. We'll be fine. And then from there, we can start looking around at other settlements nearby. One of the mods that I have prevents me from seeing anything other than capital cities inside the region, so we have to go discovering places on our own. As you can see right here, now we have this little dot representing Moorsley Manor, where we are right now. Let's see. We want... Ah, yes. Okay. Let's see what they offer in the Restless Castle. Room is going to be, well, 38. I mean, we don't have any other choice, and we are definitely not going out where terrible bears and so on can come fight us. We're going to be hungry for a little while, but that's okay. We're not going to starve to death as long as we have rations. Looks like our regeneration rate for our health is a little bit slow right now, but that's not a major problem. And it looks like I'm getting a bit low frame rate, but we can handle that. No big deal. Okay, it's 9 in the morning. Let's grab some food before we go, because that will most certainly help us to maintain our fatigue as we're traveling. Alright, good people, we need to... Food is getting a bit ripe. Of course it is. Raw meat in our backpack. We are going to head southward because we really want to head towards the capital city. Something like East Tower Hollow would be very nice to travel to. I'm going to be traveling on the road because when you're using travel options and basic roads and climate and calories, you suffer a major fatigue penalty for traveling off the road. Now, as we're traveling under the auspices of nature, hold on, let me do the quick save. I want to give a shout out to the Deus Ex Randomizer community, who were the ones who really taught me to use the microphone, learn how to stream, learn how to make videos, and so on. If it were not for them, I never ever would have attempted this. They were wonderful in getting me out of my shell and really encouraging me to give this a try. They taught me how to use OBS and so on. Massive shout outs to the folks over there. So if you have not played Deus Ex, then get Deus Ex, it's very cheap, and install the randomizer for it. If you have played Deus Ex, but you have not played the randomizer, then get out your old copy of Deus Ex and get the randomizer, because it is a fantastic community to join, and the game itself is, of course, it's absolutely amazing. I have done many runs of it, and I certainly love it. Okay, we are here. Rat and Porcupine Lodge. Let's grab some more food while we have the chance. It's going to be lunchtime. Okay. What we really want where possible is to grab ourselves some kind of horse that will allow us to travel much more safely. Because traveling on foot like this is acceptable, but if something goes wrong, then you're really in a lot of trouble, and there's nobody to really save you. But a horse can get you out of trouble much faster. Okay, we're going to continue heading southward. As I mentioned before, this is an entirely amateur production. I do not do video editing, things like that. I just have a microphone and a computer screen, and that's the best that I can do. So that's pretty much all that we have here. I will do my best to make sure that we have something happening on the screen at all times, but sometimes it's just the traveling through nature it's nice and enjoyable like this. We can handle this for quite a while. Something that I will be doing is that I will not be labeling the videos with character names or like chapter titles or things like that. It will just be video 1, video 2, video 3, because I do not want to spoil when each character dies. Okay, we're heading that way. I want that to be a surprise, and that means that when a character dies, there's going to be a spoiler time at the end of the video that will prevent you from, if you, like, when you see a video that lasts 20 minutes and you see when you see somebody getting poisoned at 19 minutes, you have a general assumption that this character is indeed going to die, and that sort of spoils it for you. I think that's not very fun. So what I am going to do is that when a character dies, I'm going to add a few minutes of spoiler time to the, let's see, where are we? To the end of the video, to make sure that you cannot immediately guess that the character is indeed going to die. Okay, safety save for the not falling through the world problem. And we will continue on. Hopefully we can reach some kind of settlement before it gets very deep into the night. Like I said, if something ambushes us out here and we do not have like a horse or some other means of defending ourselves, then we have problems. But it looks like we're coming up on a settlement here, and we will definitely be making it in time to not run out of fatigue and so on. This is not a settlement, this is actually a crypt. This is a graveyard. Good and bad. Now we have something of a source of loot, but we really want a place to stay. You'll notice here that there's a building, a vacant building really, that is related to the cemetery block. Where are we? Okay, we're headed southwest from here. Yes, here we go. Wait. Sometimes this gets a little messy with the way that it's supposed to be aiming us southwest, but sometimes it skips over the trigger where you need to... What are we going to do? Hoping that a monster does not spawn while we're doing this, and here is the road. Here we go. Yes, it was going west, not southwest. So with any luck, we're going to be able to make it to the city that we're headed to, East Tower Hollow, I think it was called. And we will be able to... We'll probably have to climb into the city, which we can do. I don't think that's going to be a major issue, because the city gates are going to be closed at this time. I guess we could loiter, but we'll give it a shot. We'll see if we can climb. We are a thiefy character, so the ability to climb into the city... See, it says there, you stifle a yawn. That means that we most certainly need a good night's rest, which we have not had in the greater part of the day. So we are going to give this a shot and see if we can climb up. First, restore a bit of our fatigue. Not very much, unfortunately. Because we have... In fact, these are the traits that we have. And like I said before, these are all randomly rolled. These are terrible, as you can tell. The only really redeeming positive trait that we have is Spell Absorption General. We're going to see how far that carries us. Increased Magery Intelligence in spell points. Really, really, really not amazing. And the problem that we have here, we have Forbidden Chain, Forbidden Plate, lower magic ability in darkness. This is a problem, and this character does not have a lot going for him, so... We will see how far we can take this Thug Priest that we have made. The first hurdle that we have is getting up this wall. For some reason there is this Thief Just Died thing, which I'm pretty sure is related to World of Daggerfall. But I don't know what causes it or how to report it or anything like that. So we just have to put up with that occasional strange message. I'm trying to climb up here in a way that will allow us to fall gracefully to the ground without suffering a lot of damage. Probably not looking very hopeful, but let's hope we do not break our back on the way down. 3, 2, 1. Well, that could have been a lot worse. We're going to jump into a tavern that we can find. Actually, let's check the news. Let's take a look at the news while we're... Aya Sophia is not welcome here in East Tower Hollow. And this fellow is here to give us the welcome in front of a closed gate, doing his job very well. Okay, let's head on over to this tavern. And we're going to get a very good night's rest. The honest truth is that I didn't get the full 8 hours rest last night either, which is penalizing us a little bit right here, but the important part is that we made it into a city. And now that we're in a city, we really have the question, what the heck are we going to do to earn some income? We're not really fit for any guild. I mean, we could join a temple of some kind, but those often send you into dungeons, and we've already seen that this character is not a dungeon delver. What else could we possibly do? We'll worry about that in the morning. For now, we're going to get ourselves a nice room for, darn it, 38 gold pieces. I could search around for a better offer, but right now we're going to settle into this nice new town that we found, getting ourselves 10 hours of sleep. And that'll help us rid ourselves of the fatigue. Okay, our climbing has increased. If you noticed the alert previously that said you should rest and meditate on your so-and-so skill, food is getting ripe. Of course it is. Okay, what are we... Let's look for some work while we're doing this. Darn it, no work available right now. You know, we need a pawn shop. That would be the first thing that we need to offload some of the... Southeast? Offload, no, southwest. Some of the stuff that we picked up, and if we're really, really lucky, we can buy a horse. If not, then we could get a loan out from the bank so that we can buy a horse. I am running bounty hunters, a mod by Kamer to make sure that your crimes are actually properly punished, as well as death sentence. So I'm not so free to merely take out a loan against a province and then run away from that loan forever. These mods are very good at covering up the typical exploits that we instill into Daggerfall. And just look at this amazing, amazing sky. This game just gets better and better with every single mod that comes out, so I'm very, very pleased with the quality of the things that are coming out. It just looks so lifelike, so realistic. This is the pawn shop. Let's hope it's not very high quality. I do not have mercantile skill, so if the pawn shop owner is a tough person, then I'm going to have a very hard time making a good profit. 9 a.m. Half an hour. We can do that. We'll wait half an hour. 1 hour, but... Okay, practical and straightforward manner, so we'll get a good amount for our stuff here. We do have the Elven Tanto. Yeah, those are just going to weigh us down. Notes for Redguard history. Get rid of some of this stuff. Get rid of our useless camping equipment, which cannot possibly help us. And the Holy Dagger, and the Scarab. The important part of all this is that we are now much, much lighter. As I mentioned before, we cannot use chain or plate armor, so our encumbrance is not going to be a major issue in the meantime. But still, I mean, it is positive and negative, because right now we have nothing to armor us whatsoever. 0 practically everywhere except for our feet. 2,342 gold. Hold on. We want to include our jewelry as well. 2,500, so that's not, like I said, it's not great, and I don't think it's going to get us a horse, but we'll still give it a try. Maybe we can find a very, very cheap store that will be willing to accommodate our request. And let's see if this lady can point us to some of the general stores around town, because that would help us. She does not know where anything is practically. She must be a visitor like myself. Okay, we are looking for Superior Warehouse. Okay, we're closer to the bargain wares. Let's start there. And let's see if their wares really are a bargain. That would be really nice if they were, because we could really, 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 really use a horse. I mean, otherwise, yes, we can just jump into the bank and grab a small loan. We want a pretty modest loan, because it's bad enough that we don't know how we're going to survive, but we also do not want bank mercenaries coming after us to murder us for the crime of taking out money that we could not repay. And I think that's... I mean, you did see that we have phobia humanoid, so if human beings attack me, darn it, the shop is better appointed than many. That's not good. Let's go to the other one, or the other ones, rather. That shop was going to be way too expensive, so no chance of shopping there. But yes, we can stop by the bank as needed. And then we have the question of what we're going to do for work. Maybe people will have a simple delivery job, something like that. I don't think the Archaeologists would accept us, because, I mean, we do have skills enough, but Whether they would accept us and whether we want to be in the guild is a different question, because we do want to join the Mages Guild for restoration and illusion magic. But this is a tough question. This is a real question of what we're going to do with this character. So, residence, what are we looking at? Okay, Bank of Shalgor. General Wares. That sounds like a place where you could find a horse. We will find a horse stuffed into the shop. Darn it! That's the worst kind. Incense and soft music means that this is an incredibly good store, and that is exactly where we do not want to be. Best garments, Lynx and Fairy, Lion and Sword. Any general store? No, we're going to have to look further out. You know, if they only have... Let's see. If this fellow can help us out, finding some of the other, he doesn't want to tell the likes of us. That is unfortunate. I guess he simply does not like wood elves. Neither does she. Good heavens. Alright, let's get out of here. We will... southeast of here. Okay. Wait, I think that's the one that we already checked. Counts provisions. Okay, there's two down there, so we will check those two last, because it looks like we're pretty close to the Superior Warehouse to begin with. So, let's see if we can get ourselves a horse to begin with, and at the very least, knowing a very cheap store would be something quite useful to us, because we do want to know where the cheap places are, especially since our mercantile is so low. It's always good to know where the cheap stores are, but right now at our point where we have no immediate source of income, and we're just waiting for hunger and death to overtake us, it's important. It's important that we know where the cheapest places are. Okay, we're at the Superior Warehouse, and we're going to see if this place really is superior, because the bargain wares was not bargain whatsoever. Let's see if the Superior Warehouse is not superior whatsoever. That would be very nice. Unfortunately, that is not the case, and we're going to have to do this again. This time we're going down to the south to find these two stores, and if we can't find a better market than the ones that we have already, then we will definitely be taking out a loan to get a horse. I'm not going to get a wagon right now, because something that I found with realistic wagon is that the wagon tends to degrade so quickly that unless you're bringing in major hauls of loot and so forth, you can't pay for it. You really cannot. It degrades so quickly that, like, I went from one town to another within not a very large region, and just in that much, the wagon lost like half of its durability. I don't know what the formula is for how that works, but it was a pain. The wagon actually broke down on me, and I had to abandon it there, which was a real shame. I wasn't using it very much anyway, so I really should have... Okay, practical and straightforward, that's not bad. I really should have learned my lesson with that, though, so I think that we will be... well, let's give this a try then. Let's see how much a horse costs in the world of practical and straightforward. 5,600, not even a chance. He's not even willing to bargain with me on it. So yes, let's find the bank. Is that a bank that's right behind me? Let's take a quick look at that. Thankfully, we are within the bank's hours. No, metalsmith. Okay. Okay, let's get running. We can run. The bank's we are working within the bank's hours right now, so that's acceptable. I think that there's some kind of in-joke on the part of the Bethesda developers that the banks have such terrible hours. That's got to be reflecting something in real life. Reminds me of Sonic Adventure 2, where they made the cars all bouncy on purpose, because it was sort of an in-joke with how terrible the parking situation in, I think it was San Francisco, where they developed the game. They were including the bouncy cars inside that game as a sort of as a revenge against the town for the things that they had suffered. So I don't want to get a loan that's too much. We'll do 3,000. That gives me an entire year, I believe. Let's see, 11th of second seed. 11th of second seed, yes. It will give me 1 year, so it should not be excessive for me to be able to scrounge up 3,300 within 1 year. If I couldn't do that, then that would be quite a story. But yes, let's hope that that never happens, because we definitely want to make sure that we do not have bounty hunters coming after us. Okay, we're headed down to, I believe it was the Essential Market. With a horse in hand, then we're going to be able to pick up on more kinds of work. I think it would be safe enough for us to travel out of town and start doing delivery jobs and things like that. We have random little quests running, which is another of my mods. This is... yes, it's in here. Which gives us minor chances... The horse? The horse is here, okay. I forgot to withdraw, of course. What happens is that when you sign up for a loan, then the money gets deposited into your account, and it's been so long since I've done one of these that, yes, I completely forgot about that. I apologize. Go ahead and skip the next 30, 60, 90 seconds of the video while I go get that money, and we will come back for it. Like I said, this has no video editing whatsoever. In part so you can see the authenticity of it, but in part because OBS does not allow me to, or at least I don't have it set up, where it would be a pause between sessions. Okay, withdraw 3,000. Okay, now we have money for the horse. And we go down to the market to pick up this horse. And then after that, I guess we're going to be looking for work of some kind. One of the problems with a temple is that they don't pay all that often. They do have some jobs where you pay, or rather where you get paid, but it's not very often, not very common. It's mostly for the rank up that you're doing quests inside the temples. So we really want to make sure that we're getting some sort of income coming in. Accounts provisions, not that one. While we are laboring for something. 4,200. So that leaves us with a good amount of pocket change. That's actually much better than I was expecting. Gonna grab some camping equipment because we never want to be on the road without that. Sugar lumps. That's used to summon your horse if you lose it. We'll buy the sewing kit because our horse is going to be named Jeffrey today. That's a perfectly respectable name for a horse, I believe. Okay, ready to advance further mercantile. Alright, Jeffrey, what time of day? Okay, 11:05. Let's try to find some work. Rat and Barbarian, Bank of Shalgor. I wonder if that's the Bank of Shalgor that I was just at. Something to do over at the Savage Guard. Dwarf and Wolf, Tristasteer's Weaponsmith. Let's try a couple of these. Where are... Rat and Barbarian, that's the one that I do recognize. Let's just get the names of these two. Toad and Priest. Okay, let's see if we can find some proper employment. Being that this is a permadeath run, if somebody does the old, oh, I don't have a job for you after all, that kind of thing, we're going to live with that because we have to live with the consequences of our actions. There's no reloading, there's no going back and so on. We cannot take the easy way out if we're going to live a permadeath run. And you'll notice how much faster it is going on a horse. This is wonderful. Would have made that trip over to the bank much easier, but we needed the bank to get the horse to begin with. Okay, who's got work? Who's got work for us? Why would I help a complete stranger? Okay, that's not a mention of having a job. Oh no. I have a map here leading to a forgotten treasure in Shalgor, which I would be willing to part with for 200 gold pieces. I mean, I'm sure that's a good deal, but I cannot take advantage of it at this time because it's going to lead me into a dungeon. Let's talk about work. Laughing Badger. Best jewelry, rat and dog, white dog. The white dog is not very far from us. I know I saw that on the way over. The white dog is right there, yeah. So let me just grab the name of this business. Okay, Central Library. And we will take a look for the white dog. And hopefully there will indeed be some sort of quest for us to undertake here. Is it you? Oh boy, I know what this quest is, and I really should not. This is a bad idea. This is a really bad idea because it's going to separate me from my horse. It is going to be paying very good money, but what the heck, we'll give it a try. We'll see just how bad this could possibly be. I am brave enough, let's do it. Okay, take it in your hands. I think that if you put your hands underneath and twist it to the right, you should be able to... I really should have grabbed some food before I was going to jump into this. Okay, so, since we only have one dungeon block to deal with, this shouldn't be a major issue. The good news is that we do have that camping gear, so if we need to rest anywhere, we do have that option. Let's try unlocking, just for the fun of it. Okay. See where this exit is going to be. Unfortunately, I'm not very disposed to running right now because our fatigue really is quite low. Okay, there are no enemies nearby. That's a good sign to begin with. Our quest log tells us, Victana Greenheart of East Tower Hollow asked me to test a runed ring which teleported me into some labyrinth. I should ask for some compensation once I return. So yes, we will definitely be looking for compensation when we speak to this woman again. I cannot imagine that this was some trick on her part. She merely found it and she knew that it was magical, and that's pretty much the end of the story. What are we looking? Well, we are looking for the exit, but okay, I know the exit's not going to be in there. What are we hoping to find? Gruesome. The exit better not be up there because I have no way of getting out from here. Okay, try this. Gonna bash on the door. We do not want to damage our ebony dagger. What happens now? I'm assuming that over here, in this section, we're going to be able to find some way to go upward that will help us to find something related to that hole in the ceiling. Oh no, that's not the way. It was the other way around here. Follow this corner. Let's just see what's in... Okay, this would be a good place to rest if we need it. In the meantime, I will use smelling salts to restore a bit of our fatigue. It's important to not have fatigue full all the time because, in this case, secret door it looks like. Because we want to make sure that we do not have full magicka that will allow us to absorb spells from any enemies who would be casting spells at us. Lock 2. What you're seeing right there is the World Tooltips mod by Jeffatine. I know that's probably not the way that you're supposed to pronounce that name, but... Oh dear. Oh, just a bat. Okay, and we found our way out. Right now it's midday. Okay. So, we are in some part of Shalgor. Not too far from a capital city. In fact, we might be able to make it if we walk Sadly, we do not have our horse. Our horse is way back in the city, just like I was mentioning. So we are going to have to walk our way over to Kirkbrew. And with any luck, we will not be attacked on our way as we do so. Really should have bought some food before I started looking for work, because that would be a big help on this way that we're... And let me get a quick save in here to make sure we're not going to fall through the world again. Well, not again, but to make sure we don't fall through the world. Hoping that we can make it without any major controversy happening to us along the way. So, with any luck, there will be no major... Okay, I can see the city way out there. That's great. It looks like it's that. So, at least being in a city, we have the... Well, here we go. What's it going to be? This is an imp. And with any luck, the imp is going to restore some of our magicka by shooting fireballs at us. And that's a centaur. Interesting. I was not expecting 2 spawns at the same time. So we're going to... Oh, wow. Yes, that imp definitely met its match, and I think that's a World Ashes, or a Warm Ashes encounter. In any case, we're going to be running towards the city, because the town guards will be able to defend us there. It's very good for us that we're doing this in daytime. I'm actually not sure if the town guards would spawn during the night. I hope that they would. But in any case, that's not going to be an issue for us. What matters is that we will be safe inside a settlement where the town guards will defend us. That's another mod by Kamer. Another excellent mod. I can't remember exactly what it's called right now, but I think it's called Villager Reactions. Which, yes, resume the journey. And we now have the task ahead of us of making our way back to East Tower Hollow. And we have a couple of routes for doing that, but for the meantime, we want to rest inside the city, see if these centaurs are going to be destroyed by the town guard. Right now, since we're in a safe civilization area to rest in, I think that we will take a break here for this first part of the Permadeath series. Okay, there's the Fighters Guild, but I have no hope whatsoever that we're going to have skills enough to ever join the Fighters Guild. Anybody have work around here? Just out of curiosity. Yes, we can do a little bit of math work. Say, if you have a few moments, would you do some problems with me? I have some spare money here as payment if you want to help me work through them. Yes. Okay, let's open this up. 4 plus 5 is 9. Yes, it is. 3 times 4 is 14. It is not. 15 times 5 is 75. Yes, it is. Okay, 100 divided by 5 is 20. Yes, it is. The diameter of a circle that's 12 meters long, is that 6 meters? No, that would be the radius. Yes, he feels a bit more confident, and he will give us 105, which is not nearly as terrible as you might think. I will gladly do some math homework for 105 gold. In the meantime, we will start putting together our clothing, which is so terribly damaged, practically threadbare at this point, but we are fixing it up and making proper work of it. Okay, and that took a lot of time. That took about 6 hours right now. So we, yes, it's time to rest, and you can see how much my fatigue dropped from doing that. 16 gold pieces, perfect. And we'll grab some food, not very much food, but we can certainly afford that based on the math homework that we just did. So we're going to rest for a good long while. Stomach rumbles, let's see. Oh, almost. 1 more hour. We will grab ourselves some breakfast. Feel ready to advance in medical. Okay. Grab some breakfast, some bread and cheese. And we will put ourselves on the edge of the city to... From Modog King in the Mages Guild. Well, I can do that. I can most certainly do that. It's only 47 gold, but at the same time, that's not a problem. And even if I stayed here an entire day, 47 gold would still pay for a new room. Okay, the Mages Guild is southwest from here. The Mages Guild is not going to open up until another 4 hours, so why not rest a little while longer? Nice and cozy. We will be grabbing a bit more to eat before we depart because we most certainly want to make sure that we are well fed before we start on our journey towards East Tower Hollow once more. But we will head over to the Mages Guild and prepare ourselves for the next day. Since I did eat right now, I have plenty of fatigue recovery, which will allow me to run without incurring any fatigue loss. So we will most certainly run our way over to the Mages Guild, look for this person named Mordard Kinging, who we hope will not be difficult to find. Okay, almost there. And then we will put ourselves on the outskirts of the city for the beginning of part 2 of this series. Mages Guild opens at 11 a.m. and that is perfectly in time for where we are, and you have to be extremely careful not to fall in water because water is incredibly toxic with climate and calories. Not toxic in the sense of like poisoning you, but well, I found no need to look for this guy. 47 gold, wonderful. Okay. So, as we get ready to... Looks like we'll be heading south. Yes, I think that will probably be a much better route, the southwest route. So we will head for the southwest corner of the city, and that is where we will call this session. So, thank you for watching, thanks for sticking around. I hope that the concept of this series will be interesting enough and maybe generate a bit more creativity or a bit of curiosity for how to play a character like this that, number one, has no redeeming value in terms of combat and so on. Number two, randomly generated. Number three, you're just flung out into the world and hope that you can survive. So this is a peasant's life here in Daggerfall Unity. And we will end this session here, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks a lot for watching.